Alright guys, here to talk about Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 3.
The train just keeps chugging along, and we're going into this.
It does indeed.
I want to lead off by saying, have we mentioned the new intro credit sequence?
No, I don't think we have, and they're actually pretty good. They're trying
like
to go
them.
for some sort of an award, I can see.
Oh.
It feels like it's in the realm of like oh, we saw that the Game of Thrones people got a lot of play. Let's do something with that where we reveal things and
we're competing for the best intro credits, which was previously just like the only one nominated that won every year was Game of Thrones, and now we're just gonna compete. No, like when the audio cue comes in and the like tree bursts out or whatever, I'm like, that's neat. I like this, and it like reminds me that it's been exactly the same for the last 8 seasons, which is fucking crazy, or more or less exactly the same. And it's weird for them to change it now, but I guess what you're saying makes sense.
It is weird, but it's a good intro. I like it.
It kind of makes me forget about the old intro, which is how you know it's like how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's weird that it happens so late in what might be the last or second to last season.
I think
I'll take it.
But I think they changed it because they're like, okay, we're losing a lot of characters that were in there. We have to like trim down or add characters, and let's just make a new thing.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a fresh start. It's a fresh show.
And if they were to change the title sequence and show certain faces, you'd be like, oh, that guy's probably safe.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
But without showing any faces and with all the new faces we have, no one is safe.
I like it being abstract the way it is.
It's a good
well,
way to do
more
it.
abstract, whatever. Yeah. But yeah. But it's a fresh show. It's fresh writing staff. It's a fresh team of people that have to wrap some shit up, and we're doing it. We're wrapping some shit up, guys.
I thought this episode had some interesting pieces to it.
Yes, it did.
So we pick up, I believe, with where we left off with that guy.
So,
what's his name? Someone with a J.
The previously on whatever. Justin, I think his name is?
Yeah, I think that's
like, previously on whatever literally shows you, like, you didn't even have to watch the last episode. It shows you every beat, which is what it's designed for, I guess. But still, fuck. So even, like, the stinger at the end where he's like, hey, man, what the what? And then, like, gets whatever, right? And it opens with him as a zombie. And there's a fucking graffiti final warning, and there's all these like road signs, and
so
walking
that's
and stuff.
what threw me. Was the graffiti.
Right.
So let's like we've watched the whole episode, so let's not go in order here for a second and just talk about this because
I can handle it.
So
I don't have notes.
I don't think the people that wrote the final warning make sense for like why would that be? So we know it's Oceanside. Oceanside is who's actually killing these saviors because they are the ones that murdered their people. Why would they write a final warning thing? There's no warnings at all.
I don't know if they did. I don't know if that's just some weird in-universe
thing. If they didn't write
it,
then somebody else is writing it, maybe helicopter people. And what is the warning? Because if it's not, we kill your people if you don't, shape up or whatever, what are they actually saying?
So, like, as I'm watching an episode, I have, like a list of things from last episode that I might want answers to, and I accumulate more. And that was my first one. And after the episode ended, it was not answered.
It was not answered, yeah.
And sometimes that's because I'm dumb and I missed something. Often it's because the show doesn't give a fuck and just puts things out there. I don't know what that was designed, if it was a misdirect or what that was for.
I feel like it was simply a misdirect where you're like, it's people like what were those guys called back and forth, like the wolves or whatever?
Oh, God, what happened to the wolves? I hate this show.
They're all dead.
I know. A bunch of them ran away, right?
I was like, is that what this is supposed to be? Is this a gang of crazies?
Yeah.
But what are they? They're not warning anything.
Well, and it's actually kind of cool. So like the zombies are like gnawing on him, but he like dies. And once he's fully dead,
they stop gnawing.
They go,
on him,
oh, okay, and they kind of like leave.
He's a friend.
And then he like foot twitches and he gets up. So this is actually again like zombie fingers, like the different camera stuff I'm talking about. This is like a cool thing where someone is like, hey, why don't we do cool things with like a fucking zombie show instead of making it so fucking bland?
That is the first time that's like almost a lesson learned where we know that like how come more people aren't ripped into pieces.
Yes.
Why are these zombies still around? Because the moment they turn, they stop.
Exactly, which makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, but until you show it, it's all speculation.
Right. So I feel like again, like maybe I'm wrong because I read some random place that there's like a new head writer or new like person in charge running the show or something like that, and they're wanting to put in little cool things and like fill in little things, right? So like now we have a little cool thing, but they all get up and walk away. So like the warning is no longer connected to Justin's death. I don't feel like, so I don't know what's going on or whatever, right? So whatever, right? Had you like killed him, like in the head, and then left his body like leaning up against the wall, and it's a final warning.
That's a
that
warning.
Would make sense, right?
But even then, again, if you don't ever display your
what was it a warning of? Yeah,
it's just like we killed somebody. This is the second to last. Like
it can't even be a warning. Well, what would it be a warning for? I hate this show.
I don't know.
Done.
No, it's very strange.
Thank you. Come back next week. No, Rick and Michonne have a fun day with their kid, and he wants to cling to like the happiness of life. That's over. We're done.
Sure.
There's nothing else to talk about there. Right? Do they say anything that's meaningful?
No,
during their
but it
interactions?
did make me think.
It's the whole thing.
Because he's reading her a story.
Yeah.
They're doing this, playing hide and seek. They're not like. I was like, if I'm in this situation, I might try to make these games into a lesson, a thing to learn. Like, okay, sometimes things are, I'm going to say hide, and you're going to have to hide really good. Like, do they teach them about the monsters that actually exist in the real world?
The story he was reading, and I didn't write any of this down, and I forget it all now, but
It's Alice in Wonderland.
So at the time, something he was reading made me think he was like changing the words to make it applicable to zombies. But then as he kept reading, it like wasn't. But I forget what I thought or whatever. It was just like a little detail.
I didn't pick up on that.
I wasn't gonna bring it up unless you had mentioned that awesome point, because that's the whole thing. Is like something about it made me think like, oh, awesome. He's like telling a fake story about
like
things.
His daughter has only ever existed in this world. So there's not like to explain something. Like if I were to teach a kid about like bears are very dangerous. You gotta avoid bears at all costs. You want to spray this in their eye, like whatever. Yeah. Are you raising your kids in that way? Because this is a real issue that you are facing.
So like our stories are all about sharing and like friendship or something for kids.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to teach kids.
Because we are alphas,
right?
and we don't have a fucking issue.
If we lived in a world where there were these dangers or whatever, you'd probably tell stories. You'd be like, oh, Johnny ate like this plant and he got sick, and Beth ate that plant and she got sick, but like Jill ate this plant and she was okay. And you show pictures of like what plants are safe to eat.
Exactly.
Like you teach your kids survival and all that stuff. It'd be awesome.
It doesn't
right?
feel like that's happening.
Wouldn't that be a great fucking detail to work into an apocalypse show? We should write a show, Stefan.
It would be decent.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because you could actually say, like take some old fable that and even take the original book that you found, but like maybe change the pictures or the words some to kind of be like, and then they died, but like then they came back, but they weren't the same. And you kind of like explain, because you have to teach kids the concept, number one, of death, number two, of how death works now, which is not how it used to work. Yeah, exactly.
But that was just something
I thought
of while
here.
That was happening.
No, it's wonderful.
I was like, I wonder if this is... No, it's not. It seemed like it would have been a good chance to like, teach her to hide for her safety and this and that.
Well, and the show has had opportunities with a young Carl, and it even had those other kids like look at the flowers or whatever. Like
but all those kids knew a world before, and that's the biggest difference.
It has flirted with the idea of what it must be like to grow up now in this world, because Carl has some dialogue with his dad about like, you don't get it, like this is this, and it was flirting again, never really committed to trying to show how it is, because like everyone else was like, oh, I used to work at like an office and I used to do this, or I used to live on a farm, like everything was fine, there was television, like I could order things off Amazon, and now we live in this world. But for a kid, he was like, well, I was 8, so like I didn't really have things going on, I've never had a job and a commute, and now I just live in this crazy ass world. So that was interesting enough by itself, but they didn't really explore it deeply, and this was the opportunity, especially if the show ends. My take on it was, oh, Rick's so happy. He's definitely dying soon. He's definitely dying in the mid-season finale.
Moment that you knew Rick was going to die is when he's like, I think we should have a bigger family. Oh, you want to have kids?
For the future.
I think we're ready.
Pregnant Michonne?
Yeah. Oh, no, I think she'll get pregnant.
And he will die before the baby's born.
I believe so.
100%.
Yep.
So that's all I like took a lot of that to be, was set up for that shit.
And to make it that much sadder, and why he sacrifices himself at some point for the greater good.
You got to do the future stuff we talked about. Okay, baby, I will. Okay. Yeah. Hate this show. Where am I going next? Riots. There's riots.
Okay.
There's riots. Everyone's like blaming Anne. People are missing. For some reason, they blame Anne, which makes no sense. She's
Well,
new, I guess. And
they
whatever.
touched on why they blame Dan because
Yeah.
that guy Justin is the one that killed all the people in her camp when he was told not to.
Okay.
So like, or like,
Well, Simon did.
he
but
followed
then
the orders,
whatever. He
but
was
Simon's
there.
dead, so
Yeah,
you gotta
Sure.
whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm like, I guess that makes sense. The wound looked very much like a crossbow bolt to me, so I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I think they should be blaming Daryl, but I was picturing the people that made this warning at that time. I'm like, they must just use crossbows. That must be their thing.
On purpose, maybe. Did you think maybe Dwight might be coming back?
No.
Because didn't he use a crossbow too?
Well, he used Daryl's crossbow.
He might like crossbows.
I
don't know.
Maybe.
I think he's the crossbowman in the comic, and that's where the whole thing came from in the first place.
Uh-huh.
Forget about Dwight. Okay, so we get some good dialogue with Rick and Daryl, more of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have some decent stuff here. Like, if everything else was great, this would be like neutral. This would be fine. So like the Saviors want some guns. No one wants to give them guns. I think Maggie did some good performances
it's ballsy
here.
even to ask for guns. Like, if I'm in their position,
Sure.
I'd be so grateful I'm alive that I'd
Yeah.
be like, whatever you want. Build bridges? Shit. Want 2 bridges? I'll build a double-decker bridge. You want a drawbridge? Like, what do you want? Because I would kill them. They'd be dead.
I know.
There's no chance a person, especially how they're like splitting off, like, oh, one of you and one of us, and blah blah. I could never trust someone to have my back.
God,
If
you
they
would
tried
never
to
you would
kill
never
me.
put them in charge of running a siren. That's to
No.
redirect a herd.
God no.
No, yeah, exactly. You would never, and like maybe that's okay. So like this is cool. We're getting into the actual issues of the apocalypse, right? They talked about it in like episode 1. When you're just this ragtag nomadic group, life is actually kind of easy.
Yeah.
The problems present themselves, the solutions take place or they don't. People die. You like run to a new place. All things considered relatively easy. You don't have to worry about politics. It's us versus them.
Yes.
Like Daryl's line about like, why do they get this future, huh? What about Sasha? What about Glenn? What about
Yeah.
Abraham? What would they want? And it's kind of like, well, they would want revenge, but we have a society now. And Daryl's like, I ain't ready for that shit. Fuck them. Like,
No,
and you're like,
but
oh, right?
He's right.
It's interesting.
Though, because
it's good.
to have a society, to have a larger version of what they once had,
Yeah.
you need 100% trust.
Oh, yeah.
And I would never be able to trust these people.
That's true.
Maybe like 1 or 2 of them have some redeeming qualities,
Yeah.
and like based on, it's kind of like where you grew up. Like, you could have just fallen in with the Saviors, or you could have been a savior.
Exactly.
And anyone, if you were toting a gun and voluntarily doing things, yeah, you're dead, bro. So sorry.
I know.
But I'm not sorry. If
It's
you were
a
like
tough
in the
decision, right?
compound thing and you were like,
Yeah.
he was a grunt, he was made to do this, that, and other thing. Whatever group that person fell into, they would have served that purpose. So like,
yeah. Well, how
I
do you feel?
understand.
How do you feel about people? So this segues perfectly into the eventual thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have Arat, who was like Negan was like addressing her by name. That's why we know her name.
yeah, no,
right?
she's
and she was like a lieutenant
she's
in the
someone
whole
that should
thing.
die. Yeah.
But she said, "Hey, Simon would have killed me if I didn't follow the orders. I was just following orders,
Oh,
right?
there's
This is
a-
the
but
old.
here's the difference.
This is the old Nazi trial, Nuremberg
Agreed,
question, right?
agreed.
How do we judge
Following
this?
orders, yes. I agree.
Yeah.
You're in a position you have to follow orders. It's the beg for your life thing. That he didn't
Yeah.
tell you to do that. You did that for your own self.
There
You
you
die
go.
for that.
Exactly. And the like perfect line, no exceptions.
Yeah.
And then like again, Maggie and Daryl both gave really good performances this episode. I like what Maggie's doing with her face. I like what's happening or whatever.
Like the no
And,
exceptions line, honestly, that to me wouldn't have been a thing. It's the because
Well,
we have
it's,
rules. I'm sorry, there's no exceptions.
Yes.
Like and
but
okay.
the poetry of like no exceptions and then they kind of shrug like right, no exceptions, and they turn around like
No,
like,
and I
like
like
can't
that.
make an exception for
And-
you now, right?
And
This
that
whole
was
thing.
Maggie and Daryl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are the 2 people, the best ones to have come across you. The most
were the,
understanding
yeah.
of this, because Daryl just say kill them all, whatever.
Yes.
And Maggie knows that like sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead is better. Well, so they even call it out. The Oceanside ladies say like, we were just going along with like Rick's plan, but then you hung Gregory, and we were like, oh shit. Like maybe there can be justice for these because Rick's philosophy was like we're gonna wipe the slate clean and you can prove yourself.
Everyone
now.
is not innocent,
Right.
like that. That's ridiculous.
Well, and like that's one way to handle it, but the show is like demonstrating that the meathead guy, I guess we can call him Justin, but he's dead and I called him Meathead. Highlander meathead guy like drops the ball, right, fucks around.
Yeah, I would have killed him for that.
Yeah, you have these guys causing riots and these dudes like wanting guns and like intimidating Maggie when she tries to show up and like the horse-drawn thing with the fuel.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what did happen, right? And that same guy later has the knife to Carol's throat. and then they like get around him, but they don't kill him. And the guy says, "Why are you not killing me?" And Rick's like, "'Cause that's not how it is anymore. Take him back to camp, patch him up. We're
what
gonna
was
do
his
this."
name? Do you remember?
Dipshit.
So he's like, he goes, "My name is Mud," and then the other girl who we've seen before goes, "His name is Bud," or something like. It was like, I'm like, his name actually rhymes with Mud.
Oh,
like,
I thought he just said his name or whatever. No, okay.
No, he said
weird.
Mud.
Interesting.
And then she said his actual name, the blonde one that we've seen.
So like she is someone who's like visibly being set up to be someone that does go along with them and like to the new world of goodness or whatever.
Yes.
Even though she did bad shit or whatever. Right?
Yes. But most of her stuff, I don't remember her ever doing anything sadistic.
So like we didn't know Arat did this stuff either until the show told us.
No.
Arat, there could be more things or whatever.
When the college boy, whatever, like son of the former mayor, when during that she shot like this one and cut that one's face, and like she was doing shit where I was like, no, that's a sadistic bitch.
So he said,
and when they first said her name, I remember I was like, well, she's an evil motherfucker. Like,
she's an evil bitch. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this might have been set up. Just having her being crying there and being like, no, it's different now or whatever. I was like,
once you know you're gonna die, a lot of things change.
I don't know. I would always be so like, for better or for worse. Like it's obviously safer to like kill everybody, but she's been participating and being okay, unlike other people that have visibly been like fringing off. So I don't know how I would handle it necessarily, but there would be a process of like proving yourself or something. You'd probably start with like no, and then work your way back to yes instead of starting at yes and working your way to no.
Yeah.
Just because life and death, right? It's a big deal. But Maggie and Daryl just stroll away. And then you hear like the death of her in the background, like fuck. So like now all that shit's explained. The missing people. It was even like a scam where like one of the Oceanside people partnered with Arat to do something, and they organized like the kidnapping. So like she was like, oh, they hit me from behind. Where is she? Oh no, she's gone. Like it was this. I was like, okay, that's cool. And they didn't quite. They spell it out eventually, but they didn't quite. They like let you think about, hey, what's going on, which was nice because the show usually just says.
I like that.
What's
and
happening?
Like he had found some weapon on the ground, and that ended up being one of theirs. But I was it didn't look like something I was familiar with,
right.
And I was like, they use primitive tools.
It's a harpoon or something. Yes. Yeah. And it was cool how they figured it out, like you said, and it was the perfect people. So they end and they say, it's time to go see Negan. And they fucking start walking down the road, and that's how we end the episode with this awesome, so what's going to happen?
Do you think they go to see Negan and somehow this leads to him getting escaped? Or you think, what do you think's going to happen here?
Well, it depends on Jeffrey Dean Morgan's contracts.
I guess.
So part of me, and we'll get to something else in a minute, part of me feels like whoever's in charge of the show now, if it's the same people or new people, they're like, okay, fuck, clean this up, get off, start this, change this into that, cut them out, move them here, do this, do you have a line? Okay, good, get over here, you're this person, go, and they're doing all these things to try to like reconfigure the show. So they might decide, yep, Rick dies 3 episodes from now, Negan dies as part of this, or something happened, like, we might be on track to like cleanse and redo the show. Yeah. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's popular though, so I feel like he's gonna stay around.
I would lean towards him. I thought there was gonna be some redemption arc on that character, just because. I think that's just good TV. Someone who's unredeemable becoming redeemable.
That's what Game of Thrones would do. I don't know if the show can handle it.
I'm not sure. I could see him and Rick dying in the same episode too.
Yeah.
And that potentially being in a save the the group
to
kind
save
of
the
way.
group, exactly.
Yeah, who knows?
That would actually, that's the kind of thing, right? Where like maybe they have to leave Alexandria or like wherever they are, and they're like, well, we can't leave Negan, we have to take him with us. And it's like, no, leave him to die, fuck that. And then like Rick goes to take him out, and then together, right, they do something.
I picture a scene where he's like, you'll need this, and hands him Lucille.
Oh, she's yours now. The fuck? Oh, it's so awful. They'll do that.
So now we have, what's her name with a J? Janice or?
Jadis.
Jadis. So Jadis, we get a little bit more on that.
I hate this.
Do you hate this?
No, I love it, but I hate it.
So how long has she been a part of the group, you think?
Like a day.
Because the walkie-talkie still has battery power. She makes a thing. She pings this guy.
Let's take a step back. I know that Morgan is actually on Fear the Walking Dead, but when he went there last season and told her to go to Rick's group, he said, no, I'll stay. Like there. That was the implication, that he's going to keep an eye on the junkyard. So Morgan should have been there. They just go there and Morgan's not there. Again, I can deal with this. It's fine, but what the fuck?
Well, we also don't know. At any point, like, a week later, he could have said, okay, I'm going to go
Well, it's
on
like,
my own
what?
somewhere.
He's just fucking...
She did go in the middle of the night. Who's to say? He could be in Bamboo Palace for all we know.
Not a deal breaker by itself, but just this is what I mean. Like they're choosing to just barrel past certain things to get us to a place, right?
Yeah.
Walkie-talkie works. I need an A or a B. A's are better than B's, though. I'm gonna need an A. The deal still stands. Just me. Gabriel's there.
One, I think, like, I forget which one was A or B, but I'm like, one is food, one is a worker.
Okay.
Is my guess.
Interesting. Yeah, so they want A's, because A's are good. But, okay, so Gabriel's there. Doing his thing, right? Whatever. She's like, you could come with me. I'm like, this is a scam. She's fucking just trying to do, this is heartless.
I don't think it was a scam.
I hope it was. Because at the end, she says, all this time I thought you were a B, and fucking, clocks him out, right? Which means that so this is like, I think you might be closer to being right. I don't know what A or B means. I was hoping you'd have a suggestion, and I pretty much like what you've said. But, so his decision to not go along with her willingly changed him from a B to an A in her mind?
I think she legitimately liked him.
Yeah.
I think everything she said was truthful, in my opinion.
Right.
And she wanted him to join her on this group over there, at which point he would have been an A, a worker, someone that could join the fold.
So is
but
she an
because
A
he said
in that,
no,
in that analogy?
I would imagine.
Okay.
And because he said no, he became food.
No. She said all this time I thought you were a B, which means...
But then B was worker, A is
No.
food, whatever.
Oh, well, no. So, like, the guy... I wrote all this down because I was, like, very concerned about these A's and B's. So she's like, an A or a B, and he is like, no, an A tomorrow. He's like... And she's like, fuck. Like as if A's are harder or A's are, like, whatever the fuck, right?
I took it as A is food, B is a worker. So
Okay.
I thought you were a B, you're actually an A.
You're actually nothing? Because wouldn't A be better than B?
No, you're food.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I imagine it's part of a code they say over walkie-talkie, so if you're with the group of people, they know they're not saying, we need food or slaves.
No, listen, yes, it's obviously a code. So, like, the way Jadis reacted to hearing that he wants an A, it seemed like she was, like, disappointed. Like, oh, it would have been easier to find a B.
Well, I
so,
think
like,
it's because a
whatever
lot of
B
people have
means.
become her friends, and she doesn't want to kill them.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
So I need an A. But then his decision to like resist her and not go along willingly shifted him to like the other one that she doesn't. Well, she needs.
I thought.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna be like a
B.
friend, my loyal confidant, my blah blah.
Yeah.
But since I can't trust you, you're now food.
I can't get around A being the more disposable one though, just because of like the lettering system. You know what I mean?
Well,
it could be, but yeah.
I think in a situation of where they're in now, I think food is more valuable than another worker because another worker is another mouth to feed.
Sure.
At least that's how I took it. We'll see what this
it's
actually
really
turns out to
interesting.
be.
Like there's a few reactions there, and like I said, I didn't go into it with a theory, but I thought it was fascinating that like his resistance, and she always thought of him as a B, but now he's an A or whatever. I thought that was very interesting. That like the betrayal of the betrayal and all that stuff, all that thing. Very interesting to me. So there's this whole fucking thing going on. She was trading people for resources. And I'm like, what does that mean? And then Gabe goes, what does that mean? And I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking right. What does that fucking mean? I'm so upset. I can't wait for them to poorly explain this in a way that will infuriate me.
We'll see. At least we know this show, isn't unexpectedly canceled at the end of this season, so it should answer whatever we want.
Are you like titillated? Are you teased? Are you on board with this, or are you infuriated?
I want to know because we had a setup from last season that I was like, well, what the fuck is that? That we're finally going to get an answer to.
Yeah.
And the new big bad, presumably.
I guess. And if there's a new big bad, if there's another place, we could live other lives. It's so much better there, right? There's a whole nother governor. There's a whole nother Negan, right? Which can set us up to have Negan be like the Spike of the group and be like the unlikely ally or whatever, right? Everything fits together nicely. And when Rick dies, we'll have Negan there to be this unlikely to play against maybe Carol or someone as this like I will never trust you, but now we're in the future and we have to.
Well, no, he'll be playing against.
We have to fight the helicopter people.
What the fuck's her name?
Maggie. Okay, Maggie. Yeah. Good times.
And then, in the height of a battle, she's gonna still try to kill him or something.
I don't know how that's gonna end. It's gonna be a whole mess.
Poorly for everyone.
Poorly for everyone.
Are there any plot points here where we breezed over? Did we miss anything?
No, but just like so, this revelation, this further tease does explain. So like she was there with the flare, she was there with Negan, right? Whatever he is, an A or a B.
Yeah.
The helicopter came, but the thing got fucked up, right? Now all makes at least it makes some sense, right? Because the whole thing where it's like you were going to trade us for something, like what were you going to do? She seemed like she had a ton of people that she could have traded. So that's why I was like, there's something about something.
Well, she was.
That
Those were
them,
her people. She was trading people she didn't care about.
Trading new people, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Something. I need more information.
It's kind of like if they said you got to kill someone in the world, you're probably going to kill someone you don't know.
I would press the red button to kill someone to get $1 million.
Many times. All right, guys, I think that's everything that we happened in this episode of The Walking Dead. Let us know in those comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.